Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Tetcher, and welcome to another episode of The Climb. This is a show where I go onto my secondary account. It's pretty low level, it's pretty much from scratch. I've spent only a tiny bit of money on it for a video. And basically we're going to play almost 100% free to play from basically nothing all the way up to the point where we can play some ranked. And it's also a show that when I'm able to stream, like I am right now by the time I'm recording this, it is a show that I will be playing on that quite a bit because it's quite easy to just do on stream and I can fit in a load of episodes at the same time. But now this is a single episode and this is going to be Zagara because she was on free week and I want to level up the heroes on free week first compared to the ones I own, because the ones I own I can level up at any time. The ones on free week are a free 500 gold basically, which allows me to buy more heroes I can level up at any time I wish. Riches. Alright, so the question is, what do I want to build on this? I kind of want to go Nidus build. So let's go with... I don't know what to run here. I guess just standard build with Nidus. I think that's just the most sensible thing here.
Without question.
So, but I think I can change my level 1 talent. I think I can get away without the creep here. Just clear this. Oh, Chaos up here. I was wondering where Chaos was. So yeah, let's take Corpse Speeders. Demolishers would also work, but I think Corpse Speed is good because I can tank. They can tank quite a few tower hits each. Look at that. Now I can keep the pressure on. Oh, hello. Don't be rude, guys. Got some harassment. Got a creep tumor. Got a hunter killer. Got some attack damage. Look at that. Now, they should be attacking the roaches here, because that damage reduction only works on non-heroes. So yeah, in the show, basically, I basically talk about stuff. This is not a pro hero show. I will be playing mostly like normal builds, so I won't be like messing around with too much silly stuff. But this is where I talk about stuff, and I talk about stuff a lot of the times that you guys request in the comments. And this week's, today's request, sorry, this is a daily show, not a weekly show. Today's request was basically someone asked me how I got into casting heroes, casting anything. So I'm going to tell that story. That is the story I am going to tell today. I'm trying to work out whether I should go for the objective. No, my team seems to have that good. KFash is still around here, I think. Yep, so I'm holding 2 here. So I get out very much ahead of this. So yeah. Alright, so getting into casting. I can't remember who made the request. I'm sorry about that. But I'm hoping that the fact it's being done is enough to pacify your insatiable rage. So, okay. Where I started casting is... Right, I'm trying to work out where to begin with this. I guess it's like secondary school, around that time. Where basically I was studying just the regular stuff. I was just studying regular stuff and gaming as a casual thing. I was playing a hell of a lot of Halo 3, because that game was amazing in terms of custom games. The Forge mode, the everything, just all the extra stuff you could do. Fat Kid, the rundown one on Sand Trap, where the zombies had like super speed and low gravity and the humans were all in vehicles. That stuff was really, really fun. That's the kind of stuff I've already tapped for the ammo here. That's lovely. That's the kind of stuff I was playing. Just very relaxing. A lot of Griffball. Like I did a small amount of competitive Griffball back in the day because it was really, really fun. And I was really good. No, wasn't very good at it due to my internet problems still being around then. So high ping was a huge issue. So I had issues with that, but overall it was a fun time. It was a fun time. I was enjoying stuff. But basically what happened then is I failed out of most of my secondary school stuff. I passed one of my exams. I picked the wrong subjects, basically. I picked stuff that I wouldn't enjoy because I thought it was right, which was a stupid thing to do. You should never do that. You should basically pick stuff that is the best for you. What you will enjoy, what you will actually like doing. Because if you hate your subject, if you're gonna end up hating your subject in a couple of years, then why would you do it? Why would you put yourself in a situation where in these situations dictate your career? Picking your subjects in like secondary school, your A levels and your GCSEs and stuff dictate your future career. So I made the wrong decisions. I picked like psychology, which I find cool, but I looked at it like, and I was like, oh cool, this will be a thing I want to dedicate a huge amount of my life to. And I was wrong with that. It's a huge amount of, it's just a huge undertaking. I also picked physical education because I was good at sports, and that was a bad idea as well because for those who don't know about learning physical education, god damn it, it's about 20% actual physical stuff, and then it's about 10%, and then it's about 30% sociology. Hang on. So yeah, it's about 10% of it is about physical stuff, and it's about 30% sociology, 30% history, and 30% biology, psychology, sort of mixed together. So actually, just studying physical education was once again a huge mistake. It was very much not what I enjoyed. And I can't remember what my second to last subject was, but my last subject was drama. This is the one that I passed. I did a good job on that one. I liked drama, I enjoyed writing, I enjoyed performing, I enjoyed all of that stuff. So I did well with that. I also got achievement in sports leadership and stuff like that as well. That was good. So basically after that I was in a situation of, okay, I failed almost all of my exams except for drama. I don't want to be an actor. I have basically put myself in a situation where I don't know what to do with my life, and I basically decided to take a year off. My mum was very supportive of this, and she was like, she gave me the option to go back to school. She basically said I could do what I want. I could move into the working world, I could go back to school, I could make my own decision, because I was very regretful of how I had treated my education choices, basically. I had made the wrong ones, and I was not happy about that. So I basically had the choice, and basically what I did for that year, basically, that I spent, is I took a lot of small courses. So oh Jesus Christ, getting ganked a lot here. Also, I still haven't picked this talent. I don't need battle momentum here because that's for ultimate, so I guess rapid incubation gives me sustain, so I don't have to sustain from level 1. So I did a lot of small courses. I worked for a year in a kennels, which was cool but also horrible. Because I felt really bad for all the dogs in there. I own 3 golden retrievers with my family, and it was just seeing the dogs just very upset and just how happy they were to see you kind of thing. I wasn't a huge fan of working in the kennels, basically. So yeah, I did that for a year, but I also did a load of small courses. In that time I became a lifeguard. I completed the stuff with that. I became certified first aider. I also, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I got a degree in radio broadcasting. I did quite a lot of stuff. Did quite a lot of stuff in that time. But I basically hadn't made up my decision on what exactly I wanted to do. Eventually I decided that right, in this time is the time where I first started casting. And that was StarCraft 2. And basically how that happened is right near the start of that year off. I had very little to do because I hadn't found a job yet and I hadn't decided on what I wanted to do. I was very much refocusing on my life. So in that time, I was doing what everyone with a lot of time to do, and I was watching a lot of TV/YouTube. I was basically in that situation of, well, I've got nothing else to do. I guess I just watch a crap ton of gaming videos. And at the time, the person I was watching was Total Biscuit. And basically, I knew about his regular gaming stuff, and I was watching his regular gaming stuff. At the time, it was his Magicka playthrough with the Yogs cast, which at the time was very funny before the Yogs cast became very unfunny. And I loved that playthrough. That was very good. So I went looking into more of Total Biscuit stuff, and I found out that he had a second channel where he played this game called StarCraft, and I was like, what's a StarCraft? So I ended up looking up StarCraft and watching Total Biscuit's videos of it, and it looked very enjoyable. So I decided that I wanted to buy StarCraft, and I wanted to try this casting thing, because I looked at his videos and I thought, he's just talking about games. I can do that. So I basically did. So I bought StarCraft, I went to game, and I bought StarCraft 2. And I tried playing it for about 2 weeks. And I then found a tournament at the ESL UK Open, which was a StarCraft tournament at that time. And I asked to cast it, and the caster at the time, Snorlax, was very open about it, and he was like, he didn't do the sensible thing, which was, who the hell's this guy? No, show me some casting first, and then I'll cast with you. That's the sensible thing to do as a caster, because you don't want to ruin your reputation by casting with someone who's absolutely terrible. I'm gonna die. God damn it. And I might live this. I might live. Duck and weave. I'll just go in them. Doesn't notice. Too late. I am already gone. And then come back out. Surprise! And you're dead, son. Outplayed. But let's rapid incubate there. So yeah, he didn't do the smart thing. He did the stupid thing, which was actually to let me cast with him. And I was awful. He made a terrible decision. But bless his heart, he didn't get mad at me or anything like that. He was just like, oh, my mistakes, you're very new. Just keep practicing. So I did. I practiced for months. I played a lot more StarCraft. And I basically practiced that for a long time. And eventually, I didn't cast for a while. I just only did solo videos and stuff. And then I came back to it a couple months later, I think. And I asked him, you up to let me cast with you again? And he was like, yeah, dude, of course. Let's do this. And I was how I would describe nowadays as passable. But the fact the chat wasn't going mental at me for being terrible was a huge deal for me. Oh, you son cheeky... Ugh, bloody Nova. But yeah, the fact the chat wasn't going mental at me for being terrible was a huge deal for me. So, I'm going straight into the Nidus, because I don't want to die. And then I'm going to bot lane. Actually, no, I'll just go for it. Hello. There we go. Alright, and do the damage! Okay, that's enough. We've won that fight, so I can just go push bot lane now. We can win. I may have put that a bit too far forward. That's going to die. Okay, put that there. But yeah, I started casting StarCraft alongside all the other stuff I was doing. I was doing all these education things. I was working, etc. And just casting StarCraft alongside it. This is also when I started, like, around this time, like, after I'd been casting StarCraft for a good 5-6 months kind of thing, I created a show. And that show was called Caster Challenges, because I was like, well, I'm really into this whole improv thing, and this is something that I like to do while casting, just to mess around with myself. And it was also inspired quite a bit by a Day 9 Daily. Day 9 Daily did something, I don't know which one. But it was a very entertaining Day 9 Daily, and I was like, well, yeah, Day 9 can do this, but what about the other casters? What about other people? So that's what I did. I basically went around and I asked my friend casters for, I asked my casters who were friends from the UK for help. So I got Snorlax on, I got a load of other UK casters on. And I basically asked them to come on the show, and this show was basically cast a game of StarCraft while I give you stuff to make it harder. And it was stuff like, you may only talk with, all words you say must start with the letter B. So one of the people who came on was, ended up going like, bumbling birdlings destroy bases and stuff like that. Or you must only cast, you must cast in the voice of an evangelical preacher kind of thing. And it was all silly, it was all fun kind of stuff. And the first couple episodes did all right. I don't need to go in here. Yeah, I do. I can just stay down here. Quite fine. Just kill the walls. Deny vision. But yeah, with this show, I was getting promotion for myself, my YouTube in general, and there's still probably a couple people around who were like, that was my first 1,000 subscribers with that show. So I did it with my friends, my fellow UK casters, kind of thing, and that got a bit of exposure. So I got a couple good episodes. And from there, basically, Nurtio, a player, was like the big thing. So I put the show after I had a couple episodes on Team Liquid, which at the time was the big thread for StarCraft kind of stuff. And on Team Liquid, Nurtio pointed it out and was like, dude, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And that was a big deal, and that drew a lot of attention to it. Like a pro player who is mostly known for taking stuff seriously was like, dude, this is absolutely amazing. This is we need more shows like this. This is absolutely fantastic. And he loved it. I am super dead. Run. Yep. So yeah, the show is still up. Yeah, it's still on my channel. It's still playlist of it somewhere. But basically, because of what he said there, I got the person who started it all for me on that channel, Total Biscuit. Because he was the reason I started casting in the first place. And I got a contact for Jenna, a friend. And he did it because of, like, I showed him the thread of, like, all the previous episodes. And I got him on. And that episode got, like, 16,000 views or something like that. It's, like, one of my 5th most viewed video now. Which is a weird thing to say. But getting him on it, everyone else was instantly... He did a really good job. Second he was on it, everyone else suddenly wanted to come on it. So I got In Control. I got at the time the 2 American casters, Axelav and Axel Toss. So they both came on it. So they were really hyped about it. Everyone was really hyped about the show. I got a load of fun people. I got Archon TV, which is a really funny one where it was like 2 people who casted games in character. I am so disappointed that they shut down because they were actually really fun to watch. So I'm really a little sad that they don't exist anymore. Should I go Fury? I'm gonna go Fury and get extra attack damage out. Let's try that. Time to go. I'm dead. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm dead. Oh well, I was trying to use the Nidus mode to block myself there so I could escape. But yeah, why were there so many people down there? Whatever. So yeah, that show basically took off massively, and I was still casting at the time, so I was getting promotion for myself, so my casts were getting slightly more views. And I was able to cast with people like Joe Rosar and people like that, who I was able to get on live episodes and stuff, because I was meeting all these people at iSeries, which is an event I went to with my first ever gaming team, which was Team Good Game, which came all the way from my second ever ESO UK cast, all the way up to like my last episode of Caster Challenges. I was on that team for a while. And at that point, I switched to the Last Resort, which is a team that is still around today. And I still talk with a load of people from the Last Resort and Good Game, because bonds you make in esports are usually bonds you make for life. It's actually a really cool thing. Oh, yeah, nice. Now get out of there. Run. Dash for something. You're super dead. Where am I going? Where can I push hardest? Here again, I guess. Yeah, they're fine. So yeah, it was around this time that I started getting work, kind of thing, for StarCraft. So I was casting the WCS UK Challenger series. So basically the one you do to get into the Premier League. I'd also adminned WCS UK, the first ever World Championship series for StarCraft. So I basically got all that stuff and worked it into. Basically, I was starting to cast a little thing. And then I got like my first and, well, last ever offline event for StarCraft. Because before that, BlizzCon and Heroes of the Storm had been announced. It was around this time that I was losing my passion for the game. It's been over a year at this point of StarCraft. And actually, no, it hadn't been. It had been oh wow. At this point, I'd been doing StarCraft for about. I need to go. Let me get out of here. Yeah, at this point, I've been doing StarCraft for about 3 years. From 2011 to 2014. So I'd been doing it for a while. So I was really starting to lose passion. I'd done a huge amount. I'd done huge management stuff. I'd run a huge show. I'd done some casting. Hadn't done my first offline event yet, but I was doing a lot. By this time, I'd already moved back to proper college. I went into IT because it's something that's hugely relevant to basically every career path I wanted. I could either just go into regular IT. I'm mega dedicated. What's with this row? Why are they here? Why aren't they pushing with their team? Either way, it means we can't lose the game because there's only 3 of them here. We might be able to kill a couple. But what the hell are they doing? But, yeah, basically we were able to, basically at that point I was in college, and while being in college, I finally got to do my, casting-wise, my first offline StarCraft event. I hated StarCraft at this point. I was not so much hated, but I was so bored of casting it. I didn't do any research for this event. I've been doing a lot of studio work for Gfinity at the time, with Dorosar kind of thing, so I did just enough research to pass, and that was it. But this was like my first big offline casting event, and that was StarCraft 2, and that was Gfinity number 3, and I was just not interested. The event was fun and all, but I was just so not interested in StarCraft at that point because all I was thinking the entire time I was there, I was like, I really wish Heroes of the Storm was out so I could be playing this. Like, I was like looking at everything and just like, Heroes of the Storm would be a really good game for this to be. So after that event, I retired from StarCraft. I was done. I didn't have the energy or the patience for this game anymore. So what I did, I am gonna just push a little gently here and then roam up somewhere else. Just put another one of these right behind me so I can escape to it straight away. Throw these, and throw these. Okay, and now leave. Because I want to die. And one down here. And let's go to there.
Power gathers within a shrine. Be ready.
And back to here. So yeah, I quit. So basically, what I did in the gap between Heroes of the Storm and quitting StarCraft, because basically this entire time now, for like the next 4 months from this point, I was waiting for Heroes of the Storm to hit alpha, to release, to be playable for me, basically. Even if I was just praying that I would get into the beta. Blizzard were releasing just videos of the game for casters to cast on, to try and drive up hype for the game. That's it, just videos. Ah, don't die. I mean, do damage. That's the hologram, shit. Oh, shit, this is bad for me. Kill these. So yeah, I basically was in a... Kill it. Oh shit, I missed. Can I bodybox someone with the Dynasty? Alright, but yeah, I was in a situation where where I was waiting for Heroes to come out and StarCraft was done for me. I was bored, didn't want to do it. So what I was doing is I ended up casting some Hearthstone, just nice and easy, because Hearthstone's an easy game. Easy game, easy life, and it was right at the start of its life, so people didn't know what talent was. So basically, I was able to I was able to cast Hearthstone at iSeries and make some money out of that, and I was able to sustain myself off that for that time. I was able to wait out the Heroes thing, basically. Then I got a message from Crunch3D's Sam, where basically he messaged me and was like, "Hey, I love your StarCraft stuff. Your Castle Challenges was amazing. I'm also the CM for Heroes of the Storm. I'm going to add you to a list of people to hopefully get the Heroes Alpha, the Technical Alpha, as soon as possible." And I was like, "Dude, you are quite frankly the greatest person I've ever seen." And I was added to the game in the very first wave. And with the intention, I'm sure by Sam, to make Castle Challenges. I have attempted to, but it's been really hard. I'm dead again. I'm delaying for as long as I can, though, so that's good. Delay, my team gets this. I'm dead for a very long time, which kind of sucks, but bot lane is now even more pushed than it was before. So yeah. I was able to get into the game very quickly. So the second I was in, I played as much as I could. I made as many videos as I could. This is back where some of my most popular stuff comes from. This is where the backdoor murky build came from. This is where the Asmodan Ultimate Army Spectacular came from. Back when the game was in alpha/beta and really bugged. But it was in this time that I basically started putting full focus into casting Heroes of the Storm. So the second anything was castable, because I was the first one to discover a bug in the game that allowed you to cast replays. Because replays were in the game, but the theatre feature wasn't. So what you could do, because it was something StarCraft really hadn't put in the way to watch them. So what you could do is you basically took the replay in your folder, click and drag that replay onto the Storm Switcher in the C support folder at the Heroes of the Storm, and that would load up the replay. And that was the first and only way people found to cast Heroes of the Storm, because you couldn't cast live, there were no spectator slots. In fact, there were no custom games, I believe, at that point. So players had to run tournaments by basically queuing against each other on matchmaking and hope their MMR was enough. Otherwise, they had to play for ages, kind of thing. It was really weird. There weren't that many players in the game at this point, so it wasn't too bad. But that's how the tournament first started. However, Blizzard then were like putting out stuff saying, "Hey, you can't. We would prefer if you didn't cast it." like, we don't think the game's ready at a castable stage yet, we ignored them most of the time. Like, to be fair, Zoya was one of those casters who started off saying, like, directly to my face, like, I offered to cast something with him, and he was like, yeah, Blizzard aren't really comfortable with us casting stuff, so I'm not going to cast. And then he cast, like, 2 days later, which was a dick move, but whatever. He basically, we went on to just kept doing everything we could for the game. We were casting replays, we were casting the second there were observer slots. We were casting with them, we were casting off clean feeds. And it was at this time that I was meeting up with Technolink, who was an English-speaking caster. I am mega dead again! Well done me! Well done me for dying. So yeah, this is where I meet up with Technolink and GXX Shock and another one. A Smoogle, that's the one. I was also meeting up with a load of American players and just a load of the initial good players for Heroes of the Storm who are just some which are still around today, which is super cool. And basically we were able to basically this is when casting started. Like, this is when slots started adding to the game. And I was casting with A Smoogle and GXX Shock and Technolink, and I was casting with all those people. Like, yeah, basically, it was GXX Shock and me mostly, and then a bit of Technolink on the side. And then I get a message partway through, like, this is quite a way in, we've been doing, me and GXX and Technolink have been doing a lot of Go Force. So I get a message from the only other people casting in EU at this moment, are Caldor, basically. Caldor is the only other person in the EU casting at that point, other than like a couple small ones. Durasor was doing a little bit, and there was a couple other people doing little bits here and there. So I get a message from GXX Shock saying, hey, I've got a message from DreamHack. They want to do a Heroes of the Storm tournament. And my response was, okay, I want in on this. So that's what he was asking. He was saying, do you want to cast this tournament with me? And I was like, yes. Caldor's been taking like every single casting job since Heroes of the Storm has been released, all the offline ones. I want to stick my foot in the door. So I put myself down, I gave him my fee, and I was down to do it. Then I get a message like a couple weeks later, like a couple weeks before the event, from Caldor. And he was like, hey dude, I've been offered a casting job for a certain event I can't tell you about yet. Would you be up to cast an event with me? It's going to be not too well played. It's going to be it's going to be Heroes of the Storm though at a offline event. And I was like, is it around these dates? Because the only one I knew about was DreamHack, and he said yes. And I was like, well, yeah, I think I'm already doing that event then, so yeah, I'm up to do it with you. And what happened is Caldor basically had missed the invite. It had got caught up in a spam filter or something, and he'd missed the invite to the event, and then found out about the event, contacted them, and because they'd invited him first, and they were like, yeah, we still want you to do it. Who do you want to do it with? And he was like, well, I want to do it with Tetcher. So both Ace Moogle and Caldor have both gone, I want to do it with Tetcher. So that is basically up to the first event I did, and then it was basically like, I've done a big Heroes of the Storm event for DreamHack. I got to do DreamHacks with Todd, and then I got to do a lot more events with Caldor because I like casting with Caldor, he likes casting with me. And since then, it's just been a story of growth. And it's basically just building up from there until got to here. I just cast everything I could, every offline event that came my way, and just kept making YouTube videos, fun YouTube videos at the same time, because I really enjoy doing that. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. So there you go. If you have any more questions or would like to hear like more intricate bits of this story, like in the time between DreamHack Bucharest and now kind of thing, then I can tell you about that kind of stuff if you want. But if you want me to talk about other stuff, just anything you can think of, anything you'd like to hear my opinion of, be sure to leave that in the comment section below. I hope you all enjoyed the climb. I only got 1 level out of this. That is so bull. I put so much split push into that game, but most of it was me dying. But whatever. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed the story. I hope you all enjoyed the game. I'm going to keep leveling up this account. Eventually, we'll get to play some ranked on it. And guys, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.